What's up, everybody? This is Cole DeRuse, aka Depressed. How about those Chiefs? YouTube content creator, joined by Kylie, who may or may not be depressed as well, as we process through the Chiefs losing their fifth game out of the last 8, I believe. And it was a pretty bad one on Christmas Day. We're definitely going to process through that. We have some other AFC West news that we need to talk about. Russell Wilson is on his way out. There's some other things that we definitely need to take a look at, including injury report. There's a couple new players on there. McCole Hardman could potentially be returning this week for what it's worth. And then obviously we want to preview Chiefs, Bengals, and I may or may not have a wager going on with Bengalorian on Twitter. So the Chiefs can't lose, because if they do, I might have to go hunt down a Bengals hat. And I don't want to have to do that. So please, for the love of God, Chiefs, Santa Maria Jesus, win us a game. Okay? But first, let's roll this freaking intro. Kylie, your turn to talk. How you doing?
I'm okay. You could have called me Kylie Frowny Face Kylie, or Kylie Frowny Face Winfrey. I feel like that kind of relates to me right now. I've just been like, like Christmas. Okay. Whenever I found out we were having a game on Christmas Day, I was like, this is going to be so awesome. I get to watch with the family. We're going to all cheer together. It's the Raiders. We're going to celebrate and eat Christmas cookies afterwards. And no, that is not what happened. The Chiefs lost, obviously, as we all know, and it was really depressing. And you know what's worse than one sad Kylie? 10 sad Kylies. And that's basically what it was like watching with my family, because we all reacted the same way. And then we all gave each other Christmas gifts, which, guess what? Most of it were Chiefs products. So every time someone opened up a Christmas gift with like another Chiefs sweatshirt, we'd all be like, oh, just reminded again of the horrific game we had just watched. So I'm also sad. I'm also depressed, but bright note, we got to spend some time with family, got to enjoy some Christmas, and that is always nice. So was happy to at least get a couple days with loved ones, and that's always fun. And I ate a lot of cookies. So listen, I still feel like a winner. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes.
Outside of the game.
Yeah. We had a good, first off, I'm glad you still had a good holiday as well. I had a good Christmas. I mean, spent the weekend with the fam. First off, our Christmas was Christmas Eve, so we did all the opening presents and all that the day before, because Christmas morning, I pretty much spent the time with the kids and then got ready for the stream, and then had to cover the Chiefs losing in miserable fashion that evening because my editor was off. So I did some editing for the first time in a little while. Some more. I edited the YouTube short that came out that everybody loves that's not a Chiefs fan, because for whatever reason, 31 other teams just love to see the Chiefs lose. I mean, I get it to some extent. Like, it's kind of like when we used to rejoice when the Patriots would lose and stuff would happen. And I'm not necessarily comparing the Chiefs to the Patriots. I'm not arguing that conversation of who's a dynasty. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying the Chiefs are the most winningest organization since 2018. So people love to see the Chiefs lose. But yeah, it was good. It was fine. I mean, kind of like you, I've been eating like a lot. Dude, we had holiday cookies that were sent to us by Bout Time, who's a HBTC legend in chat. But then we had like other desserts that were being made for the holidays. And then I saw BJ Kissel, BJ Kissel of KCSN, his daughter was selling Girl Scout cookies. And I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, well, I appreciate BJ and his family. So like, I'm going to order some, because I'm just going to write it off as a business expense, because it's a donation to the Girl Scout nonprofit or whatever they are. And I didn't know which cookies to get, so I got one box of each that they had available. We have like 8 boxes of Girl Scout cookies in our house right now.
Did you not know which ones to get because you weren't familiar with Girl Scout cookies, or you were just like overwhelmed and you liked them all?
They kind of just all look good. So I just ordered one of each. Yeah, they're fire.
Listen,
I kind of like them all so far.
Yeah. The Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies are probably my favorite, but the Samoas, I think they are, or the coconut, the caramel delights. Did you get those? Have you opened that box yet? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Those are delightful. not just a clever name. They're
Definitely.
actually delightful. Yeah, I love Girl Scout
They're all
cookies,
good.
but
So yeah, I've been eating a lot of cookies, not gonna lie. And this is a convo for a later day. We could talk about it, but I don't like mint cookies. So that's the only box that I don't really enjoy. I don't want toothpaste on my cookies, dude. I don't want toothpaste on no. Doesn't work for me. But anyway, we'll have to hash that out later. Let's get into some football news. I mean, before we even get to the Chiefs and Raiders, and we won't spend a long time on that, but it's definitely worth talking about. Let's talk about some big AFC West news. A lot of news dropped this morning on Russell Wilson, but then we got an update tonight. And this was the way it was trending, because basically what happened this morning, if you guys didn't know, it was announced Russell Wilson was going to be benched for the rest of the season, so the last 2 games. The craziest thing to me is Jarrett Stidham was going to be the starter for the last 2 games for the Broncos. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because it should. He was on the Raiders last year and was the starter for the last 2 weeks for the Raiders when they decided to bench Derek Carr. I think Jarrett Stidham has an FBI informant in his pocket, dude, because he's digging up something on somebody wherever he plays football. So he played the last 2 weeks last year. He's playing the last 2 weeks this year. But the reason why, and it was trending this way, is because Russell Wilson has a big injury guarantee that kicks in if he gets hurt next year. It's like 40. I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot of money. And honestly, Diana Rossini kind of goes through the situation. I'll read it real quick because we got an update tonight. And this is why I wanted to read it, because it was trending in the direction of, well, the Broncos might actually be moving on from Russell Wilson, which is crazy because of how much they actually owe him next year. That's not including any injury guarantee or anything like that. So she said this an hour and a half ago. Russell Wilson's expected to be cut by the Denver Broncos in March, per league sources, for almost 2 months. The quarterback has been starting, knowing the organization was most likely going to move on from him after the season. The Broncos reached out to Wilson's reps in late October and explained Wilson would lose the starting job and be made inactive for the rest of the season if he did not defer the injury guarantee trigger date that he has for 2025. Per more league sources. And this is what that guarantee was. Wilson has $37 million in injury guarantees for 2025 that will become guaranteed on the 5th day of the 2024 league year in March. Lawyers, including some with the NFLPA, were involved, and no changes were made to the contract. So basically Russell Wilson said, "No, I'm playing pretty good football. I'm not changing nothing." I mean, and he didn't have to change anything. And so there's other reporters out there, Adam Schefter and others, that kind of detailed a little bit more. But I think Sean Payton was just done. And what's crazy to me is they're not even talking about it in here. But Russell Wilson is owed, let me see real quick. Next year, they still owe him $39 million in 2024, no matter what. $39 million guaranteed next year, even if they move on from him. And he has a no trade clause in his contract, which means they're probably just going to straight up release him. Kylie, your thoughts on all of this?
Well, I want to go back. So she says that they started having these conversations back in October, which, as we know, they started out really rough this season. So I can understand maybe where the conversation started to stem from. But since then, they've had a relatively good run, obviously, since beating us back in October. And they lost last weekend. It was a bad loss. But their last 2 games are against, what is it, the Patriots? No, they played the Patriots, the Chargers and the Raiders, maybe? Who else do they play?
I can look it up.
I think it's the Chargers and the Raiders.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah,
and
so
I
think
this Sunday.
It feels like
they play the Chargers this Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Raiders. You're right.
And then I think they finished with the Raiders. So 2 games that they could win, and obviously the Chiefs aren't doing so hot right now. So it just feels like they're tanking. And I think what's even weirder about this is that, like, who is their quarterback going to be next year? Because it's not like they've got a great.
Yeah.
I'm saying next year, because it's not like they've got a great draft pick. They've ended up winning into a little bit later round or later draft pick. So I don't know. It's a really interesting situation. I saw someone in there, I think on that tweet, that had a comment that said that Russell Wilson has handled this with a lot of class. I mean, I don't know exactly everything that's been going on in the background, but I also have heard that Russell Wilson's not the biggest team player in situations. So I don't know. It's a really weird situation. I think as a Chiefs fan, it's funny to watch an organization who has shelled out so much money and draft capital for a guy that they are now willing to move on from after 2 seasons and still have to pay him a buttload of money. It's wild. It's wild. It's fun to watch though as a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, he was playing pretty well. Talking about Russell Wilson, and probably a little fire under him. He's like, well, if I'm gonna be gone, I'm gonna try to play my butt off, and like he could probably still be a starter in the league. Like there's other teams looking for quarterbacks. I saw somebody that covers the Raiders. They said they were given reasons why the Raiders don't need Russell Wilson, and I was like, please go get Russell Wilson. Let's keep this man in the AFC West. That would be the funniest freaking thing ever. I don't think that happens, but they need a quarterback too, because it's not Jimmy G. It's probably not going to be Aiden O'Connell. Mm-hmm. But staying on the Broncos real quick, they won at one point they won like 6 of their last 8 or something, but they've lost again. Mm-hmm. I think they're 1-3 in their last 4. They've lost 3 in a row, or it was almost 3 in a row. So it wasn't doing. They weren't doing the best there near the end, I guess. But like, if you look at his stats, I mean, he's playing above average, at least a lot of this season. Some of his stats are even better than Patrick Mahomes, which I'm not going to get into that because people just show the stats on the surface and they're like, look, Russell Wilson's better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, look, you're also smoking meth out of a crack pipe, dog, because it's not that simple of just looking at the straight up stats. But Mahomes has struggled this year. The offense has taken a hit. But Russell Wilson has been playing pretty good football, got a couple of weapons. I mean, Judy, even though what's his name said he's a tier 3 receiver. And then, bro, Sutton, that guy has been making, I mean, you want to talk about receivers who can catch the ball? I understand he's had some he drops it sometimes, like nobody's perfect, but this dude every single week just catching the ball. I'm like, this is unreal. So, yeah, he was definitely playing his heart out. I think he could earn a spot somewhere else, but you know what? That's fine. If they, just what you said, they gave up so many draft picks for Russell Wilson. They're moving on. They signed, dude, and then let's move on from this after I hear your final thoughts on this, but they signed Russell Wilson to an extension before he ever played a snap as a Bronco. And now they're basically letting him go before that extension even kicks in. That is hilarious. So, as Chiefs fan, I freaking love you, Broncos. Appreciate it. I don't love the fact that we didn't win our 17th game in a row, but 15-1 over the last 16 games, or 16, whatever it is, over the last 17. And then they now have to go find a new quarterback, and they still owe Russell Wilson $39 million next year. I freaking love it.
I love it. I think it's great. I guess we kind of saw it though, right? How many times on the sidelines have we seen Russell Wilson and Sean Payton kind of going at it? And not like Russell Wilson, what did he do recently that something happened in the last game that Sean Payton was all over his butt, and they just continued to look like they were butting heads.
So I mean, snap.
It's that's what it was. Yeah, he rushed the snap, and they clearly haven't been on the same page, I guess, in a while. It's just I never ever thought that it would come to this, especially knowing how much money they still owe him. It's really wild. Someone mentioned the Patriots could be a good landing spot for him. I mean, the Falcons. There are teams all over the league that could use a quarterback. He's definitely not, in my opinion, done. He'll find a different landing home. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. If it's the Raiders, we will rejoice because that will be hilarious. But that'd be funny.
Perna made a Broncos video today entitled "At the End of the Error" instead of the era, which is actually hilarious. Yeah, I wish Russell Wilson the best, but whatever, man. They dug their own grave. Talking about the Broncos and those decisions, they're going to have to dig their way out of it. So that's on them. Have fun. Moving on from that, let's talk about another team in the AFC West because we got to freaking talk about the Chiefs and Raiders game. Let's not spend too long on it unless you want to. This is a game where I'll just talk defense real quick and then we'd love to hear your thoughts. The Chiefs defense played fantastic. Aiden O'Connell didn't complete a pass outside of the first quarter. He had like 47 net passing yards. So he had 60-something passing yards, but you take the yards that he got sacked and subtract those from his passing yards, net passing yards. 47, I think, net passing yards on the day. No touchdowns. They only made 2 field goals on offense. If you would have told me and you, Kylie, hey, the Raiders are only going to, on offense, score 2 field goals. They're only going to complete passes in the first quarter, and outside of that, only be able to run the ball or throw incompleted passes and get a couple of the field goals. We would have said, yo, that's a freaking Chiefs dub. That's an easy dub for Christmas. Merry Christmas, Chiefs Kingdom. However, it's not so simple. The only thing I will say about the Chiefs defense, they did struggle, and they have struggled this year against the run in certain situations. They definitely did it on that last drive. I mean, it was like a 40-something yard run, a 15-yard run. They were tired, but I hated to see them get gashed like that against the run. Other than that, I feel like there's really no blame in this game on the Chiefs defense. I mean, if you want to put a little bit on them on that last drive, okay, but I'm putting a lot of it, most of it, on Mahomes and the offense, and then a little bit on special teams. What are your thoughts, Kylie?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like Nick Bolton who said, we should have made a stop that last drive to get the offense the ball back. But it's just kind of like, for what? We watched the offense struggle, and struggle is an understatement, let me say, all game long. They couldn't get out of the huddle. The play calling was ridiculous. There were turnovers after turnovers, 2 turnovers in 7 seconds that led to the Raiders having 14 more points. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely gut-wrenching. I could not believe what I was watching. Mahomes did not play well. Obviously, the receivers weren't playing well. Obviously, the coaching staff did not play well. When you've got a quarterback yelling, you call the play, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And when you're having a difficult time getting out of the huddle because the plays aren't being called fast enough, it's a problem. And then you have to call a timeout because you're not set, because the play wasn't called. And it's a domino effect. And it was more of the same, but it felt like it was much worse also, because obviously we know we've been struggling with turnovers all season. We've been struggling with the pre-snap penalties all season, but to then start seeing it seep into the coaching staff and kind of see what's kind of going on with Mahomes mentally, maybe it definitely took it to a whole new level of concern for me. I don't know what needs to happen, because I feel like every week we're right here talking about how, they just got to clean it up. We hear the players in their post-game pressers say, we know what we got to do. If we quit hurting ourselves, we can beat anybody. Like, I don't know where you go from here. It's really tough. It was really hard to watch them. This is a team that we've watched over the last 5 years. They've been able to come back from any deficit. They've been able to beat any team. They've been able to constantly prove that they're the best team in the league. And this has been a completely different season for them as a team and us as fans. And it's just completely unprecedented for us. So it's wild. I didn't know what I was watching. My family and I, what was supposed to be a joyous occasion was a very sad day in the sense of a Chiefs loss. So yeah, it was rough. I could go on, but it's
a a couple things. Mahomes had arguably one of his worst performances ever as a Chief, but just in the NFL. His worst ever graded performance per PFF, 34.2 or something was his grade. He was the worst graded player on the team. PFF, again, that's not canon to me, but you could look over Mahomes' career, and Mahomes has been one of the highest graded quarterbacks since 2018. So it evens out at the end of the day. But like that, I mean, he had 5 turnover worthy plays. The offense was their EPA per drive, or their EPA success rate, I can't remember which one. Out of 109 Mahomes starts, they were ranked 109th out of 109. It was the worst EPA an offense led by Mahomes as a starter has had ever. Part of the issue was the O-line was getting worked. Wanya Morris was getting worked. I saw a play today in the coach's film. Homie glitched. I think his controller died. The ball snapped. Everybody moved. He held still. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Oh, shoot. I'm like, bro, the play was going. He glitched. I'm not going to put too much, blame there on the rookie. He's stepping up. I think Donovan Smith has missed in some ways a little bit, but as a veteran, Smith's been in the game for a while. But the O-line, Mahomes was pressured second or third most of the entire season. He was running all over the place. He was sacked 4 times, which he hasn't been sacked 4 times since last year. The most he's ever been sacked in a game is 5. I think it was in 2018 against the Cardinals. So those were some issues. Obviously, more miscues with the receivers. MVS running 61, or not 61 routes. He had 61 offensive snaps, 1 target, 0 yards. He was also almost the reason another interception happened because Mahomes should have just thrown the ball away, but he tried to make something happen with Noah Gray. But MVS led his defender over to Noah Gray, who MVS should know as the veteran. MVS's route on that play was a sideline. He should be taking his defender away, not all the way to the area, at least, of Noah Gray. I understand it was a scramble drill. He's trying to get open for Mahomes, but that was bad. And then the 2 plays back-to-back in 7 seconds, I saw the coach's film on that, and it looked like Creed Humphrey blew his assignment on the trick play. And that's what led to the miss snap. The mishandling of Pacheco giving the ball to Mahomes. Pacheco saw the defender get a free run, and he froze and kind of held onto the ball. Mahomes thought he was going to keep it. Then Pacheco's like, oh, I need to hand this off. And fumble, taken in. My thing is, why in the hell are we running a trick play on the 13 or 12-yard line? Why are we doing that? I don't know who called it. I don't care if it's Nagy. I don't care if it's Andy Reid. Why are we calling that at the 12-yard line? And honestly, if Creed didn't blow that assignment, I think it would have worked. Travis Kelce was open big, like wide open down the field. He snuck through, and he would have been hit they would have been to midfield at least, maybe further. But I'm just a little baffled why you call that on the 13-yard line. The next play that the offense got the ball back, that's when Mahomes tried to target Justin Watson. I don't really feel like he came back to the ball like he should. Mahomes didn't put enough on it, and then Jack Jones read it all the way. Jack Jones had no fear of the deep ball, broke on the ball, just like he did the week before against the Chargers. He broke. That's how he got a pick 6. It was that was more on a screen pass to Eckler in the Chargers game, but then he broke off, picked Mahomes off, and there you go. 2 turnovers in 7 seconds. Just what you said, Kylie. We don't necessarily know what they should be doing or changing or fixing because we keep saying, well, just fix the little things, be accountable, don't make the small mistakes, and they keep doing it every single week. And just what you said, this is not the offense we're used to. They can't climb out of the hole. Like, they struggle climbing out of the hole anymore. Now, they've done it, but all 6 games, they've been trailing in the fourth quarter. All 6 games, they lost, unable to get out of trailing. You know, their average, on all their losses, they've lost by 1 score, basically. And if you average all their games, I understand the Broncos game was more than 1 score. I think the Raiders game, it ended up being a 6-point game. So, like, all of their losses have been, they've had the potential chance to get the W, in the fourth quarter, and they just can't do it.
No. And this trick play, it feels like, first of all, to your point, no, there should never be a trick play done there. We can't even catch the ball. Why are we doing trick plays? Like, focus on catching the ball first, and then we can throw in these trick plays. But I also feel like they're doing these trick plays so that they can scheme guys open. Like you mentioned, Kelce was open on that play. Had they not fumbled the ball there, it maybe would have worked for this amazing play. But like we had seen earlier in the season, but it didn't work. And if that's how you're getting guys open, I mean, I know MVS, they've been on different pages, but if he's going to be out there and he is open, like someone has to he has to throw it to him if he's going to be open, because what's happening is he's looking very hesitant in the pocket. He's holding on to it way too long. And then he's throwing into double coverage with Kelce or to Rashee Rice, and then that's causing an interception. So at this point, if MVS is going to be out there, I feel like they need to get on some sort of the same page that they can make those plays happen. Because to your point, nobody respects MVS. No one respects the deep ball. They know that he's not going to throw it to him because they know that he has no trust in him. And that's now a problem because they don't take it seriously. The defense doesn't take MVS being on the field seriously. And I don't know what we're doing. I don't know why he's out there. Like you said, I think we might be getting Hardman back, which could be, maybe help with that a little bit. I know Tony and Sky have been hurt, so they aren't out there. Yeah. So if someone's got to take those snaps, I get it. But if he's going to be getting those snaps, like something, he needs to be helpful and productive and execute. And I'm still at a loss for words on that one. I really am. And I've seen a lot of comments about, oh, Mahomes is broken. This offense has broken him. That Nagy has broken Patrick Mahomes, all these different things. But guys get in slumps all the time. Guys get in their heads all the time. And sometimes it's just overthinking, and it just takes going back to the basics to kind of regather yourself. And I hope that that's something that they're working on this week, because at some point I feel like they just got to go out there and play. And it just feels like they're all in their head. They're doing all this fancy stuff. They're trying way too hard to do these trick plays. And it's like, you just got to go out there and ball. And at this point, what do you have to lose, right? Like, you're going in and you're doing these trick plays and you're still losing and you're still turning it over. So just go out and play. I'll call Andy.
Yeah.
I'll let him know.
Yeah, call him, please. Yeah, it's an interesting time. I mean, I titled this stream, the beginning of it, are the Chiefs still a playoff team? I think that answer is yes. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to win your division, you're a playoff team. Okay? Maybe they're not as high powered as they have been in years past. Do they make it to the Super Bowl? I have no idea. I'm going to root for them to do so. But the way that this team is built, the defense is going to carry, and the offense just has to quit doing the stupid stuff and shooting themselves in the foot, turning the ball over. You definitely can't gift your opponent 14 points. If they don't do that, the Raiders score 6 points. And honestly, if you want to look a little bit optimistically here too, because there were some good, the Chiefs drove down, they scored 2 touchdowns. If they would have scored that other touchdown that they got to the 7-yard line on in the fourth quarter, they turned over on downs on that drive. They're at the 7. Mm-hmm. You score a touchdown there, you actually win that game. So they're even, and that's with them gifting 14 points to the Raiders. Now that's the Raiders. That's not a playoff team. I mean, even though it's crazy to think they've won 4 of their last, or they're 4-3, or I think, since Antonio Pierce took over as interim head coach. But the Chiefs had some bright spots. I think CEH had a nice screen pass. Richie James finally, there was a broken coverage and Mahomes exploited it, and Richie James went for 40-something yards there near the end. It was too little too late by the time they did score that final TD, although the defense could have held. Potentially, they had 2 timeouts. They had the 2-minute warning. Enough of an opportunity to get the ball back and try again. But it's just not the same team. You can't shoot yourself in the foot and turn the ball over and expect to be able to climb out of that hole when you're only averaging, since week 8, Kylie, the Chiefs average 18.25 points a game since week 8. On offense. They average 18.25 points per game. Now, the defense is the second best defense in the NFL. They've only allowed 17.25 points per game, or 17.5 right now. So in theory, if you just score your average, you'll win these games. But when you only average 18 points a game, I mean, that's hard. When the Chiefs averaged 29 points per game last year. So I'm talking, that's just through week 8. They were doing better. They were 6-1. They won 6 in a row. They went from 6-1 to 9-6, 5-3 in their last 8. 3. Sorry, I'm so used to saying the Chiefs winning most. It's 3-5 in their last 8, not 5-3. Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear your thoughts before we move on to the next subject here on this. But I do think the Chiefs are still a playoff team. However, I said this in my video recapping the game. My confidence is not as high as it has been in years past. You kind of said it earlier, I think. We used to know that if Mahomes and company just had the ball in their hands, dude, they could come back. It doesn't matter. Could they still do that? Yeah, sure. Mahomes said today in his presser, once you get to the playoffs, it's like a clean slate. We're just going to get there, and then it's anybody's chance. And I agree, but we're looking at a pretty decent sample size of the Chiefs from week 8 till now. 3-5, averaging only 18.25 points per game, have the worst turnover differential in the NFL because Patrick Mahomes has a career high in interceptions, 14. Some of that is not on him, but some of it is. And the defense, as good as they're doing, they're not the best at creating turnovers and takeaways. That just kind of is what it is. And here we are. I do think the Chiefs are a playoff team. I am not as confident in them being able to just go in, and even if they're down 20 points, even if they're down 24 against the Houston Texans, they come back and win, whatever that freaking score was, 44 to 20, like 31 or whatever it was. I mean, could they do it? Sure. Have they shown it in glimpses? Yes. But almost every single game this season, they've only shown it in very small flashes. They keep saying it every week. We need to be more consistent. You're running out of weeks, man. You're running out of weeks. It's week 17. Would love to hear your thoughts, Kylie. Are the Chiefs, in your opinion, still a playoff team? And then we'll keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to say they're not a playoff team when you've got a coach like Andy Reid and you've got Patrick Mahomes at the helm and, of course, Travis Kelce. Despite how things have gone the last week or two, I think that Mahomes can get back on track. I think he's got too much experience at this point to kind of stay in this slump for too long. I do think they got to figure out a way to quit shooting themselves in the foot. And it goes back to saying, that's a really funny quote. We do need an exorcism. It does feel like someone has possessed the Chiefs and taken over. No, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, watching the Ravens play the other night, that's a well-oiled machine. And now they're sitting in the 1 seed, and they're likely going to keep the 1 seed unless something happens this weekend with the Dolphins and that changes. But the Ravens look like a complete team, and they're playing some of their best football when it matters. So even if we can get past the wild card, I mean, there's going to be some tough matchups. And again, this will be the first time that the Chiefs are going to have to go on a road for a playoff game. And I don't know that that's so much of a bad thing because we haven't exactly played great at home this season. So it's not like we're winning all the games at home, but it's definitely a factor when you get into playoff games and you get into a place like Baltimore, who has a very rowdy home crowd. That's going to matter. So again, I agree with you. I think we're still a playoff team. I just don't know how confident I am in that they're going to make it to the Super Bowl and that they're going to be able to get to the AFC Championship, which is so crazy because we've been there the last 5 years. And this is definitely uncharted waters for us as Chiefs fans, at least here recently. But again, I think that having guys like Mahomes and Kelce who have been there before have that leadership. It'll be interesting to see what happens these next couple weeks. This is the most adversity this team has ever been faced with Mahomes. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going to keep faith that they can get to the playoffs and maybe start making some things happen. But
yeah,
it's going to be
all
tough.
we can do really is we just take it 1 week at a time. I mean, I like what Mike said here. Thanks for the 5-man. And then Ron and Troy, thanks for the gifteds and Troy, thanks for the 12 months. I'll read that in a minute here. But Mike with the 5 said, at this point, we just need to get past the Bengals and win the AFC West for the straight year. That's all you can do in this league is take it 1 week at a time. With the loss to the Raiders, the 1 seed is out of the Chiefs' grasp, but the AFC West is not. So the Chiefs win against the Bengals, they're in. They get a playoff berth by winning the West. Another way they could get in there is the Raiders and the Broncos both lose or tie. The Chiefs can still get in this Sunday, even if they don't win. But yeah, all you can do is take it 1 week at a time. I am pretty confident the Chiefs still win the West. They're going to make it to the playoffs. I don't know what seed they'll get. Would love home field advantage. At this point, what does home field advantage even mean at times? I feel like sometimes they play pretty well on the road too. I understand, Mahomes never played on the road. I am not really worried about that per se. Like, I think the Chiefs can get it done. If they can be who we know that they can be statistically over the last 5 years, who they've shown in small glimpses this season, especially offensively, I do have some faith. But yeah, just confidence is not as high. I'm still a Chiefs fan. I'm still going to root for them. My confidence is just lower than it has been in previous years. So I think we're kind of in the same, we kind of agree. Chiefs are a playoff team, just confidence not as high. I see it, I've been seeing you guys in chat. I know there's a lot of opinions on what we should be doing. A lot of hot takes. I know some people want Andy Reid gone, Brett Veach gone. Here's the thing, man. The Patriots went 10 years in between Super Bowl wins at one point in time. There were years where they lost 6 games. They lost 5 games. They lost 7 games. I mean, it happens. It's hard to win every single week. It's very hard, even though the Chiefs have made it look easy. Most of us in here have been Chiefs fans for a long time. We've seen a lot of pain. I mean, before Andy Reid came, the Chiefs were 2-14, and you had a very tragic incident happen I don't know if it was the last game of the season. It was one of the last games. It might have been the last game. But you had the lowest of lows before Andy Reid came. And I would love to see some fresh blood in there at OC. I said this when EB was gone. Like, some people were like, bring EB back. I mean, okay. But I would love a young guy outside of Andy Reid's tree that can infuse some new ideas in there. People are like, well, look at the Chiefs. They look like Nagy and the Bears. Where do you think Nagy got his play calling in his system from, guys? Andy Reid, okay? So I just think we need some new blood. Yeah. We need a fresh mind in there. That's what I would like to see, but that's next year. I'm not really worried about that. We can't change that now. All we can do is look to this week. And, I mean, it's probably a good time to transition to Chiefs and Bengals if you want to, Kylie, after a word from our sponsor. No, I'm just playing. After we go to this and show, this basically sums up the Chiefs offense last game. This was, I think, the Hunt's dog taking a dump at the 44-yard line at Arrowhead after the game. This just summarizes the Chiefs and Raiders game, at least for the Chiefs offense. I mean, a big old steaming pile of dog crap. And hopefully they don't look like that this week. You know, and then if you want to see something else that probably sums up the Chiefs season at times, is you're going to get checked for a concussion. You need help. And they're kicking you while you're down. The table is broken. Pacheco falls to the table. The table breaks. He's supposed to be getting evaluated for a concussion, and I don't think that helps the case. Since we're there, we should probably talk about this injury report real quick. There were 5 Chiefs who didn't practice today leading up to Week 17 matchup against the Bengals. L'Jarius Sneed, and he's actually not on there for his knee. His knee is most times what he's on the injury report for. This is his calf. We need to take a look and keep close watch of that because I do not... Like, we saw Sneed kind of get rolled on and his leg got bent awkwardly, if you remember that, Kylie, and he had to leave the game, and I think he went into the tent maybe, but he popped right back out and finished the game, and he looked pretty good. So we need to keep an eye on that with Sneed. Jalen Watson is sick. There's an illness going around the defense, so I'm not super worried about that right now. We need to keep an eye on Pacheco because he got kneed in the head in this game with no helmet on by Creed Humphrey. He got slung into Creed Humphrey's knee, actually. It was all an accident. And the fact that he got kneed in the head with no helmet, I'm like, man, that, you know, depending on the severity of the concussion, I mean, you could miss more than just a week. So we got to keep an eye on that. And that's something to really watch because Jerick McKinnon is on IR. If you don't have him, you've got CEH and Michael Pirine, which, you know, there you go. So got to keep an eye on that. Donovan Smith with his neck still. That means Wanye Morris is up, and Wanye did struggle in this game. And the Bengals D-line is, I mean, they ain't no slouch, I'll tell you that. You've got a couple guys over there you've got to really watch, and if they look at the tape from last week, they're like, put him over there. Put him over there on the rookie. Put him over there. So you definitely need to keep an eye on that. And then Kadarius Toney, whatever hip injury he's dealing with, he's still not practicing. I don't know. The only other guy that's to really watch is Trey Smith, his ankle/knee. He was limited today. Everybody else did practice in full capacity, including Mecole Hardman for the first time since getting his 21-day window activated to return from IR. Mecole Hardman is trending towards returning. So maybe some good news there, I guess, for the receiver room. I mean, it's not like Mike Evans returning or anything crazy, but like it's something, I guess, especially if Tony's not a go. Any receiver at this point, guys, that can step in and take some snaps away from MVS, I'm kind of down with the sickness, like disturbed at this point, because we need to do something. And I thought Richie James would be getting more snaps. He did. He got 23, 24, 25 snaps. Justin Ross did get 10. He was targeted once for 2 yards. So I don't know. Just got to keep an eye on that. A couple defenders, though, like Trent McDuffie, shoulder, Charles Omenihu, groin, and then Joshua Williams, neck. They're all on there. Mike Edwards went down in that game, was on the bike for a while. We didn't know if he was going to return. That made me nervous, Kylie, because Brian Cook was already out on IR. So, yeah, any thoughts on this injury report? And then we can kind of keep it moving, preview this game.
Yeah, I mean, Snead's definitely one to watch. He's been playing lights out all season long, so would hate to have him miss this game, especially with, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and if Jamar Chase is back, I mean, we'll definitely need
That's
him for
something to
that.
watch.
The Isaac, yeah, I don't know. He didn't practice today. It'll be interesting to see if he does play. But yeah, T. Higgins and Boyd both had great games last week, so definitely still got wide receivers that'll need covering.
Oh,
The Isaiah
my bad.
Pacheco thing, why does he lose? He loses his helmet a couple times a game. Can we get that thing tightened up? What's the deal here? Do
Yeah,
you know
I've
anything
heard
about
some
that?
people just mentioning that it's his hair and like just the just the way he has his hair done right now. I don't know if that's affecting his helmet's ability to stay on. I mean, this has been an issue to be honest. His helmet
It
has
has.
flown off. It wasn't just this game. It's happened a
No, it's
bunch.
every game. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
I
like,
don't know what they got to do. I don't know. I mean, somebody said like he needs to cut his hair. I was like, that's a little drastic. I mean, you just gotta if he wants to keep his hair, I don't really care. There's a lot of players in the NFL with. I mean, I don't know if Pacheco does Pacheco
yeah.
have. Listen, you're talking to a pasty white guy that doesn't even have hair. So please help me for a second. Does he have dreads? Is that what you would say?
I think
You have
so.
dreads?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot
But
of
a
players
lot
in
of
the
guys in
NFL
the
that
league
have
have.
dreads. Yeah. So it's like
Exactly.
just get that figured out because you need to protect your head, man.
Well, I think in the time that he got hit in the head this last game, that was the second time his helmet came off. So I don't know. I don't wear helmets. I don't
Wendy said
know.
it's not his hair with 10 exclamation points. Well, I don't know what it is. If it's a simple fix, please fix it. Because it's happening a lot, and I want him to stay safe. You know, I want players to be
I
who
don't
they
want
are.
to.
I'm not saying cut his hair. People can be who they are, but I'm like, there's a lot of players in the league that have dreads, like, and they don't have those issues. So whatever the issue is,
Yeah.
let's fix it. I don't know if it's an extra strap, like whatever, but protect his head, please,
An
please.
extra strap or just tighten it. I don't know. It just feels like
Chin strap,
it feels like it could have been avoided if it was tightened. I don't know. I don't play football. I don't have
duct
a
tape
helmet. I
it.
don't wear a helmet, but duct tape it.
Here,
Yeah.
let me break it down for you.
Um, put it on. Put on the helmet.
All right,
Show
when
the
you wear
kids
a
what it's
helmet.
like.
I'm just kidding. I ain't doing that.
Oh, I thought we were going to get a live demonstration. All right.
Dude, you think I know what to do?
Yeah. The only other one was Hardman. I mean, it would be nice to get some new fresh wide receiver blood, I guess you could say, in there after the last couple weeks. Do I think he's the answer to all our problems? No. But again, it would be nice to get a new rotational guy in there that
Yeah,
knows the
for sure.
offense, who has chemistry with Mahomes, Mahomes trust him. So something to watch. I hope he's back because I think we need him. So we can, yeah, pivot there.
You worried about the Raiders being stronger division rivals, especially in the future if they get a new QB? I mean, I think you always worry about it. Every team every year aims to get better. They want to get better. It's their goal to get better. That's what every team wants to do. Yeah, I don't think the gap is as wide as it used to be as far as Chiefs and everyone else in the AFC West, although the Chargers definitely chargered again this year. Some of that's just injuries. The Raiders, I mean, I like Antonio Pierce. I actually respect the guy. I mean, I know I'm a Chiefs fan talking, and we don't want them to succeed, but I'm like, he might deserve a shot as an actual head coach candidate next year for them. I think he's doing a good job, and they really he has the respect and trust of that locker room. But are they a threat? I mean, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's always a hard fought game against division opponents, but Mahomes is 10-2 against the Raiders. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we need to see
Hmm.
what moves the Chiefs also make this offseason. There's a lot to talk about there. We got plenty of time to talk about it, for sure.
I think, yeah, I think the gap has closed more between us and the other divisional rivals because we've taken a step back offensively, not so much because they've taken a
Mm,
step up, if that makes sense.
yeah. That's the famous battle
Well,
rapper A Ward in the house, by the way, with the two bomb.
what
He's a good friend of mine. Let's go, A Ward. Appreciate it, man. Let's
appreciate it.
Raphael, I'll answer your super chat here in a bit. Thanks for the 10 bomb. But let's talk just real quick here. Let's talk Chiefs Bengals. You if you look at this on paper, I mean the Chiefs defense is elite. They struggle against the run, but look at the Bengals offense. 32nd in rushing yards per game. 28th on third down, 21st on yards per game, 20th in points per game. They are 13th in the red zone, which is nice. But, I mean, if you're just looking at this side of the ball right now, I'm expecting the Chiefs defense to hold it down. I'm not super concerned, especially if Jamar Chase does not play. I think that's a key player to watch. Jake Browning did not have Jamar Chase, and the Bengals, I mean, they soiled their joggers. They pooped the bed. I mean, so did the Chiefs, but they did not play well. Talking about the Bengals, I mean, they lost pretty bad. I think it was to the Steelers. It was a pretty bad loss, and they did not look good. It was 11-34. They put up 11 points. If the Chiefs defense does what I think they're going to do, I'm not really worried about Bengals offense versus Chiefs defense. Not really. I mean, Jake Browning, he was playing good, but dude, without Jamar Chase, I mean, they looked a bit lost out there when you don't have all your weapons. And I'm like, well, welcome to our freaking world, having to try to figure it out without weapons. So welcome to pain. Welcome to Painland. Even though T. Higgins had like 5 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Boyd had like 5 catches for 50-something yards. I mean, they've got players out there still, but they don't have all of them. When you don't have all of them, it looks like a problem to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you told me at the beginning of the season that going into this game, I would say I'm not worried about our defense, I'm worried about our offense, then, I mean, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought you were crazy based off of the history that we've had with this team over the last couple of years. But yeah, no, not really worried about the defense. I think, as we pointed out earlier, obviously our biggest weakness on defense is the protecting against the run, and they do have Mixon over there. So, I mean, I think that's the one area I might be concerned about. But Browning, like you said, he's coming off his worst game as a starter. He had 3 interceptions last week. I think he struggled without a number 1 wide receiver. And the Steelers defense is no slouch. Obviously, they've got some heavy hitters over there on their team. So, and that's another divisional game for them. So those are always weird anyway. But
they lost both games to the Steelers. I mean, look at the Steelers. They held them to 10 last time, then 11 this time.
Yeah. Steelers are such a weird team.
Very.
In general, they're just a weird team. But no, I think if Snead's back and he's healthy, I definitely have less concern for the defense in this game, because Snead's just playing on another level this season, and I think he'll lock Higgins down if Chase isn't available to play.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be a big key to watch for me. Snead and Jamar Chase. On the injury report this week. Jamar Chase separated his shoulder not that long ago, so he's trying to get back in there, but, some painful stuff. He just missed one game.
He was out last week, and then okay, yeah. So
I think it happened 2 games ago. He missed last game. I'm almost positive. Now, unless you have more thoughts, Kylie, on that side of the ball, I'll flip it. So this is what I want to watch. I want to watch Chiefs offense versus Bengals defense. I will say, the Bengals allowed the Steelers to drop 34 on them. And you know who was the quarterback? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on Christmas Eve. Mason Rudolph had his first start as a Steeler and hung 34 on him. Now, George Pickens had a heyday. We're not going down that road right now, but shout out George Pickens. He went insane in that game. I mean, absolutely insane. But you look at the defense, on paper, the Bengals defense is not doing well either, all things considered. They allow, 23 points per game, 31st in yards per game allowed, 28th in passing yards per game allowed, 26th in rushing yards per game allowed. They're better on third downs. But you're going against a Chiefs defense or a Chiefs offense that I'm like, who are we going to get? Are we going to get the Chiefs offense somewhere in the first half of the season? Or are we going to get the Chiefs offense that we've been seeing recently? Averaging 22.2 points per game on the season, but again, since week 8, only 18.25 points per game. They're dipping down in some areas that you're just not used to, specifically points per game and red zone touchdown percentage. 14th in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage. They were scoring a touchdown in the red zone last season 71% of the time. 56 now. I'm going to be intrigued to see this. I need to see the Chiefs O-line against the Bengals defensive line. Um, that's going to be a key to watch for me. Also, is McCole Hardman returning? If he's returning and Kadarius Toney's out, can McCole Hardman provide a little bit of a spark? Maybe, please, somebody. I mean, we need somebody. It's not MVS. Sky Moore's on IR. Justin Ross is probably going to get 10 snaps again. Richie James, he had a couple good plays. Can he get involved? I mean, can we figure out how maybe to show teams that we can move the ball down the field? Because the Raiders had zero respect. Their safeties did not care about the deep ball. They didn't even, they were not worried. They were like, yeah, it's fine. You can go ahead and throw over our heads because we're not concerned about it. And guess what? Mahomes threw 4 passes over 24 yards. 1 was caught, and that was Richie James at the end of the game on a broken coverage. 1 pass over 20 yards. I mean, Mahomes averaged it was something low, 5.3 something yards per attempt. It was really, really low. Lots of, I don't know, quick passes, bubble screens, more miscues. I mean, Mahomes did not have a good game. I am a big fan of Mahomes, but he had a rough game last week. And it's not all on him all the time, but there were some throws I'm like, dude, you probably shouldn't have thrown that one. He did try his best to scramble, extend the play, find people open. He was scrambling on multiple plays, 4th downs, 3rd down, scrambling for the first, trying to will his team on some of those drives. And at the end, even after some of that, turnover on downs. So what are your thoughts? Chiefs offense, Bengals defense, and yeah, give us your honest thoughts.
I think that's going to be, for me, the biggest battle is going to be our offensive line has to figure out a way to get in sync again. And coming off of, well, let me say this. The Bengals, they're not great. Their defensive line isn't amazing, but they do have a guy over there. They've got Trey Hendrickson. He's got 16 sacks on the season.
16.
He's absolutely killing it. So he's definitely a concern. And going up against a guy like Wanya Morris, who just had a really tough game, they're going to zero in on him. And that's going to be something I'm watching because Mahomes has to feel comfortable in the pocket. He's got to be able to make decisions and make plays. And if the offensive line isn't helping him there, that's going to be a problem. And then obviously Jawan Taylor, the false starts, we can't harp on it anymore, but we can't shoot ourselves in the foot with the pre-snap penalties. Line up correctly. Don't false start. Don't have a holding.
MVS
it's gonna be big.
Hit with offensive offsides.
Yeah, which I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know if McCole Hardman's the missing piece, but I think any amount of spark, like you said, will help. And I think we need to see a big game from Travis Kelce. I know he's been doubled. I know teams are all over him, but we got to figure out a way to get him open and get him more involved because the last 2 games he's I don't want to say he's not been himself, but maybe he's not been himself. I mean, he had 2 drops last game. He had a drop in the end zone the game before. So I think there's a lack of focus across the whole offense, obviously. But yeah, I think we need to see a big game from Kelce. And I think we need to continue to see big game from Rashee Rice. I know he struggled a little bit as well last week, but I still think he's on the right track, and I want to continue to get him involved. So if I don't know about MVS. I would be fine if he only gets 3 snaps. I don't know. Maybe that's too many. I'm not. If McColl's back, I don't know. More Richie James. I will say this. I would like to see more Richie James.
Yeah, his snaps went up. I would like to see a little bit more as well. Rashee and Mahomes were off too. I mean, Rashee was he only caught half of his targets last week. So, yeah, you got to put together a better game. We need to see how a couple key pieces trend. We need to keep an eye on Kadarius Toney and McCole Hardman. You could say, well, that's not key pieces. Well, I'm like, yeah, it is kind of. I mean, we've got to have some people out there and give MVS some less snaps. First off, then we need to look at Pacheco. He's on the injury report in concussion protocol. We need to keep an eye on him. I feel like Clyde's been playing well. I don't mind him going out there. I mean, he provided a couple sparks last week, and I was like, whoa, Clyde. Slide through, Clyde. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, everybody and their mother, once again, is predicting the Chiefs to win this game. I mean, 24-20, 21-14, 20-17, 23-16, 36-12. They might have been smoking something when they made that one. 27-19, 25-20. One person. Bengals win by 3. Then 24-17, 21-18. Everybody in chat, we see y'all. 500 of you in there. Let me know your thoughts on this game, the predictions. We got a few super chats we'll still get to here before we get off. Again, different format. We don't answer as many questions from the chat as we have this weekly conversation. But Kylie, what are your thoughts on a score prediction? I know it's impossible to predict. I said 30-17 Chiefs last week, and I would have been, even if you didn't have the 2 offensive turnovers, I still would have been wrong. So, still would have been wrong.
I feel like last week I got a little big for my britches. Like coming off the Patriots win, I was like, the Chiefs are going to score 35. They're going to blow the Raiders out. It's going to be a Merry Christmas. So I'm gonna overcorrect a little this week. I think I'm gonna go. I'm staying confident in the Chiefs. I'm going to say that they're going to win because they're going to clinch the playoffs, this playoff berth this week, and we're going to win 20-10.
20-10. Awesome. Chiefs. I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, Cole, get out there, get on the field.
Well, somebody said we need to trade Andy Reid for you as the coach and have me as the OC. I don't think that's a good idea, guys. I mean, maybe Kylie can handle that, but you don't want me over there. I am a horrible decision maker. I wake up and I'm like, what do I eat for breakfast? And I just stand there, or I don't even eat breakfast because I do intermittent fasting. What do I eat for lunch? I just stand there and I look in the fridge. How could I call a play on a 40-second play clock? I can't do that. I can't do that.
Especially with that Waffle House menu that he has. Like, there's so many. You wouldn't be able to make a decision off that thing. You're like, I don't want
extra bacon. I need a run play. I don't want extra bacon. I need a run play. I'm going to go, dude. Oh, God bless, dude. I'm just going to go Chiefs win 20-17. And it's going to be a stressful nail biter down to the wire. I hope it's not. I hope there's a bigger gap. I literally have no idea what to predict. I don't know who we're going to see out there. And the Bengals are fighting for their playoff hopes still. They're still in the running. So they're going to give it all that they've got. And that's why I wouldn't even be surprised if Jamar Chase, if he was able, he plays. I feel like players magically get healthy anyway when they have to play the Chiefs. I mean, dude, you might have some former players come back from the grave to play the Chiefs, and they've been gone for 50 years. So you just never know when teams play the Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, and I know they don't look the same, but they're going to get everybody's best shot, and that is what it is. So I'm going with the Chiefs dub. They win the West with this victory. They lock up a playoff spot, and then we talk about the Chargers game for Week 18 later, and we figure it out from there. Joe says Chiefs 21-14. Allie says Chiefs 24-14. Arch 31-17. Chiefs get the offense rolling. Bizio 19-13. Chiefs 20-17. Chiefs said Steve. Hey, that's what I said. 20-17. I like your thoughts, Steve.
Okay.
So
I like it. They're all dubs. They're all coming up dubs. I like that. That's what we need. So I like the confidence.
Troy with the 12 months, going to answer a few super chats here at the end of this, said, hey, been off the grid with the unexpected passing of my mother. Jeez Louise, man. I did not see that earlier. I'm sorry. Just wanted to tell everyone to be grateful with time you get to spend with family. Dang, man. Thanks so much for the 12 months.
Yeah.
Very sorry to hear that. Sad part of this life that we live is tomorrow's never promised. So definitely make the most of every opportunity that you can with those that mean the most to you. Sorry to hear that, Troy. Hope, all things considered, you're doing as well as you can be given the circumstances. Hey, Ward, thanks again for the 2-bomb, bro. Appreciate that. Let's see. We answered Jordan. Thanks for the 5. Mike, thanks for the 5. Ron, thanks for the couple of gifted. Raphael with the 10. He said, bro, Denver is such a terrible organization for trying to get Russ to waive his injury clauses. I don't know if it's ownership or Peyton, but geez, I feel bad for him. Yeah, I bet that was pretty hard to hear. But I'm glad he just stuck to his guns, dude. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, the NFL is a business. Go make your money. And I say that for Chiefs players too. Like if you're going to hit free agency and you're going to go get a bag, like, hey man, hats off to you. The NFL is a really tough sport. The average, player lifespan in the league is not much more than the rookie contract, even if that, depending on the position. So, hey, go get your bag. Protect yourself. Now, are the Broncos insane for even doing what they did anyway to bring him in? Well, yeah, you reap what you sow, dillweed. So you can't do that. You can't sign Russell Wilson to that crazy deal and then be like, hey man, we changed our mind. I mean, that's not really what they're doing, but they're trying to get out of some of it, but you reap what you sow, man. You're going to sign a player to that deal. You're going to have to eat it. It just is what it is, man. So thanks for the 10, Raphael. But yeah, I don't feel bad for the Broncos, but for Russell Wilson as like a person, corny or not, I'm glad he stuck to his guns. I don't care what team it is. Stick to your guns, man. They signed you to that deal. He's playing well this season. Like, come on, man. Sean with the 10. Yo, Sean, look at this shirt. I got a shirt from Sean for Christmas.
What? Awesome.
Let's go. Thanks for the shirt, man. I don't have the picture on me, but I put my girls in their shirts too, and we took a group photo. I'll have to find that later. But Sean, thanks so much for the 10. Sean said, ultimately, I feel like we're seriously lacking in confidence, and if we can magically find it, that was my magic wand, we can be okay. I don't believe we are worse right now than Sky, MVS, and Kemp talent-wise in the AFC Championship game. Good point, by the way. Remember the AFC Championship game last year?
Yeah. Everyone went out. They had Kemp out there. MVS had a game. It's just the execution's not there. The crispness, they're not. It's the accountability and the execution are just not there. I would agree with you. The talent is probably the same, but if they're not executing, then that talent doesn't mean anything right now, right? They got to get out there and you got to do your job. And right now they're not doing it. But I think it's a confidence thing. Anytime you're in a slump, you continue to get more and more in your head. You continue to doubt yourself even more week after week. It gets a little harder to get out of it, but it just takes one, good run of plays, I think, to get to flip that switch. I really do. So I'm not completely out on these guys. Not at all.
I'm not going to let, it's the most recent track record we have, so that's what we're really going off of, but I'm not going to let, the history I've seen with Reed, so Big Red, Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they've always found ways more times than not to win when it matters. I'm not just going to stop believing in it now because they've been in a bit of an offensive slump. I still believe. I think the magic's in there somewhere. Just find it, please. Go find the freaking rainbow or the pot of gold or whatever at the end of the rainbow. Mahomes, if you got to, change up some of your superstitions, all right, come on now. Just find it. Find whatever magic is there. I know it's there. But I agree it's been a hard year for Mahomes and the receiving room. They did not anticipate the regression of MVS. They thought Sky and Tony would take a step up, and they didn't. So, yeah, some of that falls onto the coaches and Brett Veach for sure. They're not without blame, but we all thought if we as Chiefs Kingdom, there was a small sect that said this wide receiver room was going to be horrible, but I don't think even those people, I don't think they anticipated how bad it was going to be. We didn't know it was going to be basically the worst wide receiver room over the last decade, from regarding drop rate. They're the bottom 3 in ability to create separation and routes ran. We didn't know all of that. How could you predict MVS to have the regression he did? How could you predict Sky to not take a step up at all? He stayed like this. Tony stayed like this, and so it's tough, but I'm just going to pull for him. You can't do anything now, guys. I mean, McColl's coming back, but we're just going to pull for him, man. The defense is going to carry, and I just hope that Mahomes and company can do enough just of the little things. Less penalties, a few less drops, a couple of more executed plays, maybe a deep shot lands, even though they don't really normally. Just the little stuff. Don't turn the ball over. Clean ball. Here's my thing too two of Mahomes' interceptions, which obviously one was overturned in this game against the Raiders. They both happened on 1st and 10. If you don't love what you see and it's first down, I'm not Mahomes. I sit in my basement and make videos for a living, but throw it away. Dirt it. Live to fight another down, especially like when turnovers just kill us. We're tied for last in turnover differential. It's just, they just kill us, man. And then some of them aren't even on Mahomes. They hit wide receivers in the freaking mitts, and then it ends up being an interception. So
I mean, I don't know what else. I know there is a bright spot, guys. The defense is balling out. They continue to ball out every week, and if the offense can figure out just a little bit, then we're going to see a change.
That's what we need. A little one, please. Justin Mead, this is what I'm talking about. He said, yikes, I just Googled the average NFL career length and it said 3.3 years. Yeah, depending on the position, it's barely even the rookie contract. So that's why I'm like, hey, you want to get your money? Go get your money. However, please don't hold out until week 1 and sit in a suite with your fake mafia bodyguards and keep the Chiefs' money tied up to potentially ruin the chances of bringing in an extra receiver. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? So that's all. That's the only thing that gets me frustrated is if you're under contract and you do that stuff. Whatever. Anyway, Kylie, do you have any final thoughts? I appreciate everybody hanging out all stream long. It's been a lot of fun. Any final thoughts you have? You doing anything for food? Give us anything you got.
Haven't decided on a food menu yet. It is New Year's Eve, so obviously another holiday with a game on it, with a
it is New Year's Eve.
Really important game. It's New Year's Eve, yeah. So if anything, just enjoy these last few days of 2023 and take a look back on the year. I mean, the Chiefs did win a Super Bowl this year, so still things to celebrate there. And just kind of take a look back and look forward also and what you're going to do in 2024. And I know I've got my own personal goals over here for next year. And although I'm not always great at New Year's resolutions, I certainly do try for at least a little while. So yeah, happy New Year, happy holidays. And yeah, take advantage of spending extra time with your friends and family.
Yeah, exactly. The years fly by. And I've got a couple kids, and they grow up quick, man. I can't even believe it. So I agree with you. If you have a New Year resolution, start it now is actually my encouragement. Like, just start it now. Don't wait till January 1. Start it now. Aim to be the best you that you can be of any year ever. I'm out here trying. Like, I have some ideas for the channel for next year and even just ways to be more efficient, make better content at a greater capacity. Really going to try to attack 2024. It'll be my third off season covering the team, like in a full or a YouTube capacity rather, I guess. So really going to try to attack it this year and see how much content we can crush. And I will say this, it's been an awesome ride with you guys. Thanks for an awesome 2023. Time flies. And the fact that I've been doing this, running this channel for a living for the entire year, first full year, I guess, running the YouTube channel. It's been crazy. Been a blessing. Kylie, first full season with you on Wednesdays. Appreciate you holding it down. This will be, I didn't even think about this. This is our last Wednesday, Kylie and Cole of the year.
Oh, of the year.
Because next year is 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got confused for a second, but yeah, just of the year, because technically it's a new year next year, for sure. Harris with the 5 said this is a brand new low. We need to hit the bottom, and the season is almost over, or we need yet to hit the bottom. Chiefs are not a playoff team. Well, that's his thoughts. I mean, I think they're still a playoff team, but again, my confidence is not as high. Here's my thing. I feel like the Raiders game was pretty low. And if I jump off a 50-foot cliff, I've said this before, your body, once it hits the ground, it will actually bounce off the ground into the air. I think the Chiefs borderline hit as low as they could go against the Raiders. All you could do is bounce up. You know, that's kind of a grotesque description, but dude, bodies jump when they hit something. So objects bounce when they hit the ground. So Chiefs are bouncing up. I have faith in it. Let's freaking go, dude.
I loved it. I love that analogy. I think that that's very fitting. Bodies bounce, guys, and so will the Chiefs.
Hey, bodies bounce just like Debo did off that defensive back in the 49ers game. I mean, he got hit and bounced off him like a pinball and kept going. So that's all we can do. I still believe. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. And Kylie, happy freaking New Year.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you guys on Friday, Q&A, and then I'll call the game on not Christmas Eve, on New Year's Eve. So hopefully the Chiefs walk away with a W, 10-6, win the West. Please, for the love of God, show us some favor, because 3-5 in the last 8 hurts my soul. That I don't even have because I'm a redhead, but it's fine. Anyway, till next time, guys. Let's go.
Let's freaking go.
How about those